repetition is key,
Oh,
right?
Yes.
And with the repetition, the patience of it.
Repetition is key if you're doing it correctly, though.
Oh,
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
practicing something incorrectly, that's why, you know, when you're in a lesson with us, we will correct you if something is weird or wrong, right? That way it doesn't become the automatic in your brain, you know?
99% of the time when I have someone do it again, they think it's wrong. They think it's wrong.
Yeah.
They think they're like, okay, I get another
Yeah.
shot. And sometimes that is the case, but often as well. That's why I've started saying awesome again.
Yes.
So they know, like,
Yeah.
oh, same thing.
Yeah,
same
they
thing.
need that dopamine hit of, oh, I did it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. I think it is fair to assume that you know that you have to practice pretty much any skill to get better, and like singing is literally no exception. So today, myself and the entire VoxTape team of amazing coaches, we're going to be talking about how to practice the right way.
Efficient.
Or how to
Efficient
practice
way.
better.
Thank you. How to practice better. I don't like to use right and wrong, but I'm like, how else can I say this? But yes, the efficient way. And so, yeah, that way you can actually see improvements in your voice, because yes, practice is going to help you improve, but then also it matters what you practice and how you practice so that you really truly see the improvements that you want to see. So in case you don't know everybody, let me introduce you real quick. We got Coach Juliana, Coach Emily, Coach Brianna, and Coach Kate. Hello. Alrighty, so how to practice.
Well, it all
Depends.
starts with, it depends. It all starts with knowing what you're doing, being intentional. Why are you practicing and what are you practicing, right? Is it practicing just using your voice where you follow a recording for a warm-up and then sing your song and then call it practice and walk away? Is that going to be the most efficient thing? It's kind of like, are you going to go to the gym and like walk around and like maybe do like a couple curls and then maybe walk for a couple minutes, and you know, what are you doing that? Is that going to benefit your growth?
Yeah, I feel like exercise in general is a really good comparison
Yeah.
to being a singer and a voice person in general. Because, you know, if you're going to the gym, exercising and like tailoring a workout to fit what you're doing that day, maybe you're doing an upper body day or a lower body day, there's certain ways that you want to go about doing your exercises. You want to kind of heavy load early on and then go lighter, right? And with voice, it's very similar. We kind of want to, not in a sense of heavy load, go lighter, but in a sense of we want to do things in a specific order to help achieve the best that we're going to get. Do you guys ever like warm up your students and they're like, man, when I warm up with you, I feel so warmed up. But when I do it myself, it never feels as good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah. But I'm like, okay, first of all, thank you. But because I always felt the same way with my voice teacher too. I'd always be like, man, I've never felt more warmed up than when I'm in a voice lesson, you know? And it's because we have a strategy of how we do it, right? So you kind of want to add that strategy into your practice, you know, like let's warm up our voice. Like I always start my lessons the same exact way to kind of just like make people feel comfortable. I'm like, pull out the SOVT, let's do a straw or something like that. Like every lesson I do the same thing.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you feel like when you were feeling that way in your own voice lessons and you were practicing outside of those lessons on your own, were you like totally doing different exercises than you were doing in your lessons, or were you doing the same exercises in kind of the same order as you were in your lessons and still feeling that way?
That's a great question. I feel like I was probably doing the same exercises because I feel like once you're like, okay, this is what I do in here. Okay, I'm going to do it outside. but I feel like I wasn't doing it as long and I wasn't being as mindful.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the same intention. Like
Yeah.
I remember like I still do have like recordings of like previous voice lessons I've taken and from the internet. And sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I need to go get in my car because I have a gig and like let's put it on and like whatever. But it's not the same as doing a 20-minute warm up, like looking in the mirror, breathing correctly, standing with a nice posture. Like that intentional setting does make a difference in
Yes,
how your
definitely.
voice reacts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stretches.
I have a lot of students who will like record their voice lesson and just like do it every day, which is interesting, but it's also like you might need different things on different days.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you're gonna like do like a really long gig where you're singing for like 2.5 hours, you probably don't want to like do your whole voice lesson right before,
Yeah.
you know?
Practicing to recordings brings up a good point. I think the most important thing about practicing is that you practice in the first place. Without practice, it's not going to happen, right? So before you worry too much about the science of practicing and how exactly to practice and making it as efficient as possible, make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself and that you just actually go ahead and practice. And I've been singing for 15 years and I suck at getting myself to practice because we get busy, right? Everybody is busy. You're not the only one. Everybody's busy. And so you have to actively like, nope, I'm going to practice. And the one thing that has really helped me to get into practicing is because I know how, I made my own exercise tracks, like warm-up tracks and exercise tracks and things like that. And I still to this day use those tracks or session recordings, and I watch those recordings. I'm like, all right, this is the exercise. Let me quickly make this exercise track so I don't have to watch the entire recording, right? And so that was kind of like, this is so embarrassing to admit, but like I did this like 2 years ago. And like I'm finally now getting better at practicing, and I still go through phases where I'm like, guess what? I didn't practice the entire month, but I did my voice lesson every week. So I was at least still singing, right? So give yourself a little bit of grace if that happens, but it's important that you somehow get yourself to practice. And if tracks is the way to get yourself to practice, I think that's really, really, really great. It worked really well for me. Is it perfect? No, but it is a great way to start practicing. And if you are like, okay, give me a track. I got you, baby. I got a free track for you. Just click in the description below. There's a free track that you can download. Okay, so go and check that out. It's a warm-up track.
Motion is lotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have you just sing with a track than not sing
Yeah.
at all. You know what I mean? Like brushing your teeth once a day is better than not brushing your teeth at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope you brush your teeth twice a day, but you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and my favorite way to like kind of keep the buy-in going is to set the bar like ridiculously
Oh, yeah.
low
Yeah.
for myself. Be like, if I just do like 5 minutes today, and I'll be intentional thinking like, I just need to like vocalize through some warm-ups, like maybe while I'm doing my hair or like putting
Yeah.
on makeup. Like if I can do that, and sometimes it's not even listening to an exercise track, maybe it's singing along to some like chill, not super strenuous, high range belty songs on a lip trill, like
We were doing this morning.
like along to some of my favorite music that I listen to in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, and that's gonna be something that's gonna like get the air flowing and get my like get things moving.
Yeah.
But if I can do that, then maybe it feels good to sing, and then I'm like, maybe I do want to sing more. And then like it for me at least, it feels easy to like set the bar really low, and I'm like, oh, okay, I checked that off. Actually, I could still go for longer, so I'm going to do more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Instead of saying,
starting spots.
I have a like 30-minute or 45-minute practice routine that I would really love to do like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
That's overwhelming.
that's overwhelming.
I would never be able to.
Yeah. It's the same thing. We do that in other facets of our lives as well. Like for me, it's like, all right, I just need to get the clutter off the kitchen set counter and put the dishes away. All right, well, you know what? The dishes are away. Let me just wipe the counter anyway. Okay, now I did an extra step because I was already kind of in the flow, but I knew for myself, all I need to do is put these dishes from the sink to the dishwasher. That's a very, very easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it felt good, and it felt like I want to do this because it will make me feel better, and not
Yes.
because I have to do it, and it feels like I'm under this pressure
Yes.
of like,
Yeah.
And Juliana, we were recording an episode out in LA with Rachel, your friend and a singer and songwriter, an artist, and you said that the only person you're practicing for is yourself.
Yeah,
That's
great.
true.
And you're doing yourself like a dishonor or something? Like
Dishonor.
Dishonor your whole family.
Dishonor on your cow.
Dishonor the cow.
No, it's true because, like, I mean, we can be so nice as teachers sometimes, and we can be like, it's okay, and like, sure, it's okay. Like, some weeks are hard, some months are hard, but if you are showing up for yourself, you're gonna be grateful, and like, you're gonna see the benefits. Like, sure, we can appreciate and be like, good job. We can kind of like, you know, push you in the right direction, but you're going to be the one that notices the changes week by week if you do show up for yourself. So yeah, don't dishonor yourself.
yeah, you're not practicing for us.
Yeah.
You're practicing for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not in the business of making people feel bad because they're busy, but
No.
but you are going to see more. Like, it's just the truth. It's just with anything. The more
I think
you
it
do
also depends on like what they've expressed are their goals to you.
Very true.
Like we had a student who was like a full-time doctor or nurse. She was busy, but she was singing for fun. Like, I'm not going to be like, well, you got to practice every single day for 45 minutes. Like, this woman is working 7 to 7, like 4 or 5 days a week, right? Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be like, but if you're in a full-time BFA musical theater program, get your butt in a practice room. Like, you're paying so much money. Like,
yes. You're paying for these resources that are going to go away.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had a practice room that I could use anytime I wanted.
Yeah, me too. And you know what can be considered practice? My friend Sam, who is also on the podcast, we used to, at like, I don't know, 11 p.m. after a long, fun day of musical theater, go sing Wicked together. And we would just sing the whole thing. And it was like, that was our practice of enjoying music.
which is also so important.
So important. Like, that's part of the practice. Like, practice can be anything, really.
I have given like the practice homework assignment, like go sing karaoke with your friends. I have given that so many times to people.
Yeah, I just gave to Perenna. I said, sing along to Taylor Swift this week. Because, you know, we were talking about like getting out of musical theater styles. And I was like, well, you know who is not in musical theater styles and has very similar phrasing to what you're expressing you want? T Swift. Yeah.
Swifty.
So practice can look like anything, which I think can make it harder sometimes to do. What I recommend is like, what did we just work on together? What were the goals there, right? And maybe, usually I'll say like, take a look at this video, play around with this thing this week, and maybe a third thing, right? And that's what I want you to take a look at. You can expand outside those goals, but if you don't know where to start with repeating the lesson one time, or even if you just like have it in the background, listening and being like, oh, okay, yeah, we're really working on releasing jaw tension. I have no time to do anything today, but when I wash my face, I can probably massage my jaw a little bit.
Or I can be a little bit more aware of it as I go about my day.
Like listening to the replay is so valuable because a lot of times students are having trouble like hearing what we're hearing and what we're giving feedback on. But when you hear it like on the recording, it's like a lot easier to process and to catch, oh, that's what they meant. Like, oh, that's it. Like, I'll ask students this all the time. Okay, what was different? And they're like, well, I don't know. Nothing really, like, I didn't really hear a difference. I'm like, okay, did you feel a difference? And maybe they'll say yes, maybe they'll say no, whatever. But I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to tell you the difference that I heard.
Yes.
And this is what it is. And so, like, because of a lot of our job as voice teachers is like giving people the language to talk about the
That's
voice.
very true.
Yeah, if they don't know how
like
the tool works in their toolbox, you know?
Object. We're describing the way things sound, and having to describe the way things feel or should feel, and talking about like sensations, and it can be like a waterfall of new information and like new words. But
it can be it's very easy because there's so much out there, and then there's also then you sit in a lesson and then you say, oh, I heard I should sing from my diaphragm, and then one of us was like, interesting thought. I have notes.
Interesting.
You know, and then it's like you said, it's a waterfall. Then it's new information, and then how do you take all the things you've already learned from the web and then all the new things that you just learned that were so exciting and like bring them together.
Try to digest. You
Yeah,
get
try to-
overstimulated
Yes,
so fast.
Exactly. And then your practice is, especially if you're a beginner, and then when your practice is like, okay, I need to be in my head voice and I need to be in my chest voice and I need to release my tongue and I need to release my jaw and I need to work on my breathing. If you try to do all 5 of those things, it's not gonna happen. Your brain can focus on 3 things at a time.
Yeah.
So pick one,
Yeah,
especially
pick one.
as a beginner, right? When we talk about the learning sciences, and I'll leave it there, right? Those first 6 to 8 weeks, you just pick one thing and you repeat it.
We just
let
isolate.
Let it get boring. Let it get boring, and then start playing. That doesn't mean you can't be creative in general, right, or elsewhere. But like, if we are working on singing like that, just do that. Just do that till that feels easy and boring. And then eventually, once you hit that boring mark, now we're ready to start doing a little more random practice. Now we're ready to do you know.
Repetition is key, right? And with the repetition, the patience of it, right?
I think I want to emphasize repetition is key if you're doing it correctly, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
practicing something incorrectly, that's why, when you're in a lesson with us, we will correct you if something is weird or wrong, right? So that way it doesn't become the automatic in your brain, So if we tell you to do something again because it's right, because do you guys do that where something's really good?
One
you
more
just ask
time.
them to do it again, do it again, because you just want to train their brain. This is right. This is right.
Yeah,
I am
this is
safe.
it.
This is right.
And that's actually I'm so glad you brought that up, because 99% of the time when I have someone do it again, they think it's wrong. They think it's wrong. They think they're like, okay, I get another shot. And sometimes that is the case, but often as well, that's why I've started saying awesome again.
Yes.
So they know, like, oh, same thing.
Yeah, they need that dopamine hit of, oh, I did it right.
Yes, exactly. Like, oh yeah, we're getting the target.
But to what you said, like repetition in the right way is so important. Like we have to practice and keep making adjustments until we get it right, and then we have to practice and repeat it until we can't get it wrong anymore.
Yes.
Like and if you do it enough, like that will be the truth.
Yeah.
Like
My piano teacher, old school piano teacher, classical piano, she would always, like a part of a song or an exercise or whatever, she would make me play it. And she's like, if you can do it without mistake 10 times in a row, you're good. If you're doing it and the 6th time you make a mistake, you start from 0 again. And I was like, yo, that's overkill, but it's not.
In high school theater, we would play a game. It wasn't very fun for us. When we were cleaning our shows, like towards the end of rehearsal, and my director would call it detail extravaganza. And if anyone on stage messed up, you start the number again. Doesn't matter if we are 1 beat from the end.
Oh God.
Dang.
Any single person
I
on
had
stage.
rehearsals like that.
Yeah.
In the choir.
Yeah. But then it's also like you're doing theater, so you're fine.
Right.
So you're fine. You're like, this is so hard. And you're like, girl, you're singing.
So if we look at, like, it's not just that you practice, it's also that you're practicing right, because you want to build like sustainable habits, not habits that are going to like kind of not serve you in the future. How do we know if we're doing it right or not?
I think first, like working with like coach.
Yes, someone to help you figure that
Get, like, that
out.
direct personalized feedback, which is also why like listening back to your own lesson to go through your warm-up routine with us or with whatever coach you're working with is going to be so helpful, because you might not be making that same mistake again that we're correcting, but you're going to hear that we're correcting it and know that that's maybe something that you have a tendency
And you
to
also
lean
could be
towards.
making that same mistake because by that point in the exercise, you started zoning out a little bit, and you're doing the same thing the next day, so you're zoning out a little bit, and then you have Bree's voice going, let's do that one more time.
Yes. And change it and do it a little bit differently this way. Like,
Right? It pulls you out of the routine.
And
It's so
Juliana,
funny.
you keep talking about like doing it in a mirror. Like,
Yes,
watching
I
yourself.
love. It's not that I love to watch myself in a mirror. That's weird. That is
Well,
weird.
I think I'm very beautiful, so I do.
But it does help a lot with like making sure that those bad habits don't come in, because if you have, and we all do, like we all have little tendencies, like if I'm doing an A and I have a little bit more of a smirk towards this side, that can start to feel weird, if in a song, or like it might limit the tone or whatever.
Yeah, and then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it becomes a
Yeah.
habit, and then it's just not it's going to serve you. So getting used to watching your own reflection, and even like back in a video, like I tell people all the time, like record yourself. No one else is going to watch it but you. They're like, oh no. And I'm like, it's your face. Like
You can literally
have
delete
seen
that
it
right after.
Yeah,
Like-
just delete it. But like, just like look at what you're doing. Cause sometimes I'm like, okay, let's try that. Like go extreme, like big vowels, big consonants. And they're like, la la la. I'm like, is that as big as you can go? Like, watch it back.
I
like,
was just doing
that
that
is
in the
not
lesson
true.
too. I'm like, can you please
Just
open your mouth?
exaggerate. And then when you're in the mirror, you're like, la la. Oh, we're like, oh wait, la. Okay, that's the biggest I can go.
And it's going to feel very extreme for the first couple weeks. And then eventually it's your new normal.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, like I'm moving muscles I didn't know. I'm like,
Recording yourself in general, I think, is really, really, really great. Video and also audio too. And then recording for a couple seconds and then immediately listening and watching back instead of like recording an entire song and then reviewing or reviewing the next day. It's like the moment has passed. You got to do it now. Got to do it in the moment. So yeah, if you're practicing, record yourself and immediately listen back so you know what's happening. Besides that, also, how do you know if you're doing it right? Please feel what you're making, like the sound that you're making. Like if it doesn't feel comfortable, if you have a tickle in your throat, if it feels tight, if it just doesn't feel like, oh, that was, I don't want to say if it doesn't feel like, oh, that was easy, because, sometimes you're still doing it right, but you're like, whew, that was hard, right? But, if it just physically, if it doesn't feel comfortable, that's a pretty good indicator that we might want to make some changes.
Are you training or are you straining?
I love that.
I don't know who said that.
Cute.
It wasn't me.
We're putting it on a t-shirt.
cute.
Copyright. We're copywriting it.
Yeah, so true. I also think that kind of opens the door to another point of like, some things are for lessons, some things are for supervision, and some things aren't.
Yeah.
And that's something, like if you are learning how to get into chest voice and we are doing really heavy chest voice for the first time for you, like isolating that for the first time, I will often be like, try to sing your song in chest voice this week, but don't do this high intensity thing by yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
and if you
like-
do, you do it for 1 minute.
Yeah, if you do it for 1 minute, because again, it's like, I don't even know where I'm going with gym analogy. This one's gonna be, but it's like, you get people. You'll have someone spot you if you're doing something really, really heavy. Right? That's very normal.
That's a good one. I like that. Spot.
It came to me. yeah. So let us spot you. Let us see. Let us keep an eye on the time.
I understand not everybody can take a lesson every single week and things like that. I totally get that. But even if you do just one lesson to at least get a better understanding for what does my voice even need? Because sometimes you're experiencing symptoms and you're like Googling your symptom or whatever. And then, there's a YouTube video on if you're experiencing this, do that. And that might be true, but it might not apply to you. Right? Like it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just might not be right for you. And so you might be practicing things that are not right for you and that just don't matter and they're not getting you where you need to go. So if you do at least just like one session, so you get a better understanding for like, all right, here are the 3 things I'm going to work on and I'm going to continue working on these things. And then once you're like, all right, cool, I got it. And then when you have a budget for another lesson, a couple months later, do another one and see, all right, cool, what are the next 3 things that I want to work on? Or do I need to continue working on the initial 3 things? Or maybe one of the, either way, you're getting the point. Obviously, more lessons equals more spotting, right? More frequent spotting and all that. But even if that's not possible, at least do one session or a vocal evaluation where you're just sending in a video and we tell you what we hear. Like even just that can be so helpful to like, all right, I'm going in the right direction and I'm doing what's right for my voice and not what general advice I have heard on YouTube.
Lots of things sound similar but are created in different ways. Like I don't know if you guys have experienced this. I have worked with a lot of people who are like, I just can't stop being nasally. I'm so in my nose. And their larynx is high. Their soft palate's neutral, but their larynx is like super high. Their tongue is super arched and it's giving you that sort of sound, but it's not, it's not really resonating in the nasal
Yeah, it's not
cavity.
actually.
So then you Google a video on how to help with nasality, and now you're going ba ba ba, and you sound like Bam Bam, right? And it's not quite solving. So I think just having an ear on what you're doing, like you said, get an evaluation, have a friend listen to you, or if you have a friend who sings, they might not know everything, right? They might know their own lived experience.
They might also tell you have nasality.
They might also tell you, and that it's likely.
Likely.
Like, yeah, it's likely they'll tell you you have nasality, or anxiety is what is coming out of my mouth. You have anxiety. Yeah. But a lot of things, things can get confused when you are learning things for the first time.
You don't know what you don't know. So let us tell you.
Yeah. Get a diagnosis. Don't just guess. WebMD is not a doctor.
Sing MD.
Sing MD is not a doctor.
It's not.
We're not doctors either, but
We're not doctors.
I think we all understand working with a coach is the best thing, but either way. So how to practice? How long should a practice session be? Let's maybe start with that.
20 minutes. 20 minutes if you're a singer. That's the best brain amount of time to practice.
So does that include a warm-up?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe a 5-10 minute warm-up and then 20 minutes of practice?
I'm gonna say if you're like intermediate and you don't really have to like if you can do your warm-up while you straighten your hair, I wouldn't count your warm-up into your practice.
Yeah.
Like for me, I can like walk around my house and modulate the half steps by myself while I do a tongue trill. I don't need that isn't always part of my sit down practice. And then I go work on whatever I need to work on after that.
If you only have 20 minutes, then hell yeah.
Yeah, then of course. Yeah.
Yeah, just take 20 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. But in terms of like focused practice, if you can, if you're at a point where you don't have to focus through your warm-ups and your body knows how to be intentional. You have that muscle memory set up. Yeah. Also, I would say 20 minutes for everything except for if you're working on stamina. If you're working on stamina and you have a 3-hour gig, let's learn how to pace that.
Yes.
But I would say that's the only exception.
Yeah. So in that 20-minute session, should students just run their song top to bottom as many times as they can?
Hell no.
Please don't do that.
No, do some mindful exercises. Do some exercises you do in your lesson. If you don't know how to play piano, pull up the recording, or if you don't have recordings, bring your phone and turn on your voice memo and take a recording of just the warm-ups in your lessons, and then do that until you kind of get familiar with what you're doing. Maybe you get a keyboard after a while, and want to learn where the notes are and stuff like that. Know thyself when it comes to this stuff.
It's like the core of every single video.
Yeah, literally. If you like warming up with tracks, I like warming up with a track. Yeah, I love warming up with tracks. Yeah, I don't want to tell myself what to do. I want someone else to tell me what to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So know thyself and know what's going to work for you to get the output at the end of the day. You know what you might need if you have ADHD or anything else that you need, certain things to keep you on focus, stimulated and all that stuff. Then, try different things that might help you stay focused, or ask your teacher or your therapist or someone who knows you well enough to be like, how about you try this? There's so many different ways that we can practice and adjust, because the way that Bree practices is probably different than how I practice, it's all a know thyself.
Yeah, and just singing through your songs 7 times in a row or whatever.
It's not going to make the song better.
No, it's not.
No.
You got to zoom in.
Yeah, zoom way in. Go into the details. And if something doesn't feel right, try again. Make adjustments and then try again.
I love giving students the homework of I don't want you to sing your song the whole way through this week. Actually explicitly don't.
I love that.
Don't sing it top to bottom.
Yeah.
I want you to sing this one part of the song, and you're going to go through this exercise to lyric progression or series every time. And that's going to be your practice for the week.
Yeah.
Honestly, I almost need to practice singing a song top to bottom more because I never do it, right? I'm like, no, I got it. This wasn't right. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Now I worked out all the nitty gritty parts. Moving on to the next song. I'm like, no. You actually got to do it in context too.
That's when you repeat the song.
Right.
Once you've workshopped each part of it, then you put it all together and you see, all right, is this making sense for me? Am I zoning out? Am I just defaulting? Or, okay, that took a lot of focus, but I did everything that I intended to do. I got to do that again. And then you do that till it's boring, and then you and then you add in the artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people forget how much work and thought can go into like one song.
Yeah.
Like last night we were watching Wicked Part 1 and I was thinking about like Cynthia Erivo's phrasing and how she has thought about every single word that comes out of her mouth. Like in such a specific and
Angelical way.
Right? And it's like, like when I'm singing, I'm like that gif of that woman with all of the math.
All the
things. But you know what I mean? Like maybe, can we put it up here or something? But like when I'm singing, it's like, I'm putting...
Yeah.
Right? And you need to practice that mindfulness of it, you know?
Practice it until you don't need to.
Yeah.
Practice it until you can walk into a song and be the artist, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's the purpose of technique, and that's the purpose of practice, you know, like getting all this done so you can just totally forget about it and not, doesn't mean you drop what you're doing, but it's no longer what's occupying.
Yeah, it's trusting the process and trusting your practice time and training and coaches so
the
that
process
you
that
can actually sing.
Yes. The process that you trust is the practice.
Yes. Yeah. Which also is important, like, not to get ahead of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
even when we're zooming in, like, and you're practicing only the chorus for the whole week, like, if what we're working on in your lesson is we need the foundation of the literal notes and rhythms, I don't want you to try and mimic the vocal fry and the flips and the all these embellishments that are happening. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Like, there are building blocks, and whether you've thought about it or not, I promise there's a method that we're going through as coaches to get you there. Like, if you want to learn a riff, well, we have to know all this other stuff first. That can't be the first thing that we're working on, unless you're intermediate to advanced singer and you know.
Well, you don't only practice the hard stuff. You gotta set yourself up for success. If you never focus on the verse that's lower because it feels comfortable in your range, but you're not even close to setting yourself up for the chorus that's higher, that's going to make everything a lot harder.
No, to that point, I had a lesson with a student recently, and they were we were singing a song, and it was going well, and they were like, okay, I want to do this other song, but I'm kind of bored with it. It's really low in my range, and I'm bored. And so I'm like, okay, I would love to hear it. Please play it, the whole thing for me. So they play it top to bottom, because I never heard this song before. It's one of the songs that they've written, and it's beautiful. And they were like, yeah, see, it's just kind of boring. It's so low. And I was like, what if I told you you were flat the entire time?
Oh,
ouch.
What would happen if?
What? And they were like, what? It was earth shattering for a second. But then it allowed us to go and approach it, because if we never work on and think that we can just do the low parts of our voice because it's where we're speaking and it's where we're comfortable, and we don't give it the same intentionality of high notes. I really think that high notes usually happen way easier, just because we know and we're anticipating the amount of work it's going to take to make that note happen, right? And then on the low notes or descending phrasing, where we're walking down in pitch, people are flat all the time, and it's never because the note is not in their range. It's because we're not approaching it right. So it's important to give that same intentionality to all the parts of your voice in your practice time, and not take your low notes and your conversational space for granted, because you might be flat the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. One of my first voice teacher in college, the thing we worked on after tongue tension was sing to the end of the phrase. And I was not hearing it then. And I would just be ah, and just kind of fall off a little bit. And she was like, "Girl, you gotta sing till the end."
It's like the energy through the fingertips that
Energy
you were
through
talking
the
about with your
fingertips.
kids yesterday.
Exactly. You have to sing through the end of the phrase. It's not, and to bounce off that, it's not, I conquered the hard thing and now I'm just gonna like jump.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta keep it flowing.
So, what I usually say is because we all have natural strengths and natural challenges in our voice. And let's say I'm a bottom heavy singer. So, let's say my low notes are like 80% of the way there. I still want to spend 20% of my practice on the low notes, right? But the majority of my practice is probably going to be spent doing something else, but you don't want to completely ignore it or do it but not really focus on it, right? But would you guys agree with spending the majority of your practice on the challenges, or
If I'm working with a student that just really is struggling to love the sound of their own voice and struggling to practice,
then
we're not
please
touching.
don't.
Oh, yeah.
We're not touching the problem spots. We're finding what are we doing well. We're gonna do
That's
that
fun.
until we find
Celebrate those wins.
Yeah,
you know, and we're gonna strengthen this solid and just build up that foundation even more, so that we have the like basis to be able to then stretch.
I mean, that was like when we did the Confident Singer program. That was exactly that. Learning how to love your own voice. Focusing on your strengths.
And it's also going to be like such a day-to-day thing for every single singer. Like honoring where your body is today.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, like if you're on your period, I'm not going to be practicing all the high, fun, cool riffs. Like, I'm going to be like, no, I want to sing low and chill. Same thing with, like, you know, if you have, like, all of the energy and you start practicing your softer singing, you're going to be bored as heck. Like, it depends on
And also,
your day.
if you're preparing for a performance or a recording session, you probably want to focus on your strengths, because when we're performing, we want to mostly highlight what we do really well, not necessarily what we're still working on.
But still not neglecting like what we need to
Absolutely.
you know, like
It's this whole, I feel like everything we've talked about is like this circle where it's like, you need to figure out what you're doing well and what you need to work on. But I totally agree with you, Laura, that it's like, for me, I'm at a point where I know my voice. So if my mix isn't, my high belt isn't doing what I want, it's probably because I need to engage a little more chest voice in there, because I'm just head dominant, like typically. So, you know, so like, yes, I will work on head voice in my warm up and probably do some agility there. That's what I typically do. But if I'm noticing something that is one of my tendencies, I'm definitely going to be like, all right, let's lift some heavier weights in chest for a little bit, and then let's bounce back into this mix and see how that goes for me. You know, like maybe it would be the opposite for you of like, you know, you definitely want to touch the things that are within your wheelhouse because they're necessary things that are going to help you in the harder parts as well.
Yeah. I guess it always depends on the situation, the singer, what you're trying to do, how are you feeling.
Ask someone.
take voice lessons.
Ask questions to people who are qualified.
Make a to-do list.
Everyone here is.
Yes. Make a to-do list. If all of this is so overwhelming, I love a list. Shocker. Shocker. I alphabetized all our notes last night, just like while I was
What is your
watching.
star sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, yeah.
I'm such a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, put it in lights.
Earth.
Or is it?
Yeah, I'm a triple earth sign, so I get it. My feet are stapled to the ground.
That's funny.
She grounded.
I am so grounded, I'm in the ground.
See, I feel like I'm the puck on the air hockey table. I'm just like,
I'm fire, so I'm just
Same scene.
I just burn everything that's not working. I'm like,
I think I'm on the cusp. I'm like the last day of Gemini and the first day of Cancer, and I've gotten feedback from people that know more of like, oh, you are such a Gemini, but you are also such a Cancer.
Well, what about you, Juliana? What's your sign?
I'm Sagittarius.
Oh, nice. So you're a little crazy, but a little chill.
Yes.
You're like always
Depends.
the cool. Yeah. No, that
Get on
I
my
see
good
it.
side, you're good.
Yeah, I see it.
ooh, let's be on Juliana's good side.
F if you're on the bad side.
Anyway.
Watch
Anyway,
yourself.
but wait, I think this conversation is relevant.
No,
though.
I was gonna say this is another example of know thyself. Know like what kind of things work for you, and it doesn't have to be
doesn't
about like
use
star
astrology.
signs. You know, it could be like it could be Enneagram. It could be or it could be just being like, oh, I like my things the way they are versus like, oh, I'm and you kind of get to learn these things as you get older too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
if you know you're impatient.
yeah, no, you got
But
it.
if you know you're really impatient, have you guys heard of like the Pomodoro study technique?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 minutes on, 1 minute off, 5 minutes on, 1 off, 5 on, 1 off, and then eventually
What does
you
that
get to
have
5.
to do with
Tomatoes.
Pomodoro. Oh, I think it's just
Yeah.
like a
It started on like a kitchen timer.
Food.
yeah.
Is how I don't know what it has to, but that's
I think
what
it's just
called.
like it's
He was probably like he probably had a BLT while he was like, wait, what if I take 1 minute and make one part of my BLT?
So funny.
This is canon.
I think also Juliana talking about practicing if you are someone who menstruates, practicing the way that your cycles, if you have a cycle, because I know for me, like if I'm in my luteal phase, which is like right before you get your period, I'm like, it's the worst year ever. Like, like knowing those things and like syncing it up. I think it would be really interesting to do like a study on like how people like perceive themselves vocally in different aspects of their cycle as a woman for like female
I
identity.
did a study on PTP while you're on your period.
Oh,
But we kind of had shitty equipment, so it didn't.
yeah.
But yeah,
It would be that's a good thing to know about yourself. Like I'm not gonna go like lift really heavy weights in the gym on my period, and I'm not gonna try and belt on my period or really sing at all.
my coordination
I have
goes
to be
crazy.
really intentional to hold back when I'm on my period because it feels good, and then I'll like go way too hard for way too long, but I won't feel it because your like vocal folds thicken.
Maybe we should just do a whole
a little bit
Yeah.
when you are on your period.
Yeah.
And I've blown out my voice twice, like years apart, like doing that because I would like.
Not no.
Fun fact: your uterus and your larynx have like very similar like
Lining.
cell structure, so that's why your larynx inflames when you get your period. And trans women do get their period; they experience the same symptoms as female sex women as well. Wow. Their cycle goes to 27 days, which is really interesting. Fun fact: you get to be a woman. To have that 27 days. But cool.
Awesome. Ouch. Yeah. But just knowing yourself. If you are really impatient, like manage that. Like do something. Like don't
Do better.
do better. No, set a 20-minute time. Like set a 20-minute timer, or no, within your 20 minutes, you're gonna spend 5 minutes on this, and then you get a little treat. You get to like sing a little song.
Yeah.
Right. Like
treat.
But I think it's also nice to see that you don't have to practice an hour every single day to actually make progress. You can get it done in 20 minutes.
absolutely.
A lot of like non-singers who work with singers will say like, let's work. You should be in the practice room for 2 hours. And it's like, that is just not possible.
Do you remember at Berkeley, because Kate, you and I were both at Berkeley, like the guitarists and whatever, like they would be practicing for hours a day. And then just shame us singers.
Yeah.
They put super glue on their fingertips to practice for juries. And I'm like, okay, well, you can do that, but I can't do that for my voice.
Yeah.
Literally. I can't put my instrument away and then pick it back up a couple hours later. It's
And I also play my instrument with the same like acuity as like you can if I'm running on 4 hours of sleep as you can if you're running on 4 hours of sleep and 3 cups of coffee. Like our bodies are our instrument.
really. And it's extra hard because we can't see it. So,
Yes.
we can see if our saxophone is broken. We can see if our guitar needs, like its action shifted. But we can't see. We can't see what's going on in there.
Coming to like a conclusion here, practicing is going to be different for everybody, and it's okay. Like the most important thing is just getting yourself to practice, whatever that looks like. Then once you're there, make sure we're building sustainable habits because practice makes permanent, not perfect. And 20 minutes is enough. If you want to do more, you can. But you don't have to be practicing every day, all day. And be intentional. Be patient with yourself. Repetition is key. And how you're feeling that day is going to impact what sound comes out that day. Work with a coach. Okay, I love it. Thank you, ladies. It's so fun to see, interesting to see the different approaches that everybody has, but then also It's validating too, to be like, oh, okay, no, like we're all kind of on the same page about this stuff. And then also, don't get frustrated, like at home, like don't get frustrated if it's confusing, because it is such a case by case and even day by day situation, song by song situation, right? It can be frustrating, and it's okay. Just do what you can and get help if you can, and we're here to help. So if you want to work with us, you can book a session. You know where the link is. We'd love to work with you and help you with your voice, figure out what's going on, what do we need to work on to help you get to your goals. Alrighty, thank you ladies for joining me today. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.